Hey guys, Shrayansh this side and welcome back to the channel. And today we have Rishu with us. So I know very little bit because this is the first time I am also meeting Rishu and talking Rishu. Only just one or two messages we have done to schedule this podcast. तो मैंने जो LinkedIn प्रोफाइल देखा है वो मैं बता सकता हूँ ये अभी पाइन लैब्स में ज्वाइन किया है. He has recently joined the Pine Labs. But to be honest, I am also going to learn more about him in this podcast itself. So, Rishu, thanks first for accepting the invitation. And let's start if you can little bit tell brief about yourself, what you studied, when you passed out, you were in which company,
Hmm.
which tech stack, like this, just little bit brief.
Okay, sure. So, Shrayansh, I was passed in 2023 from Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology in Electronics and Communication Engineering, and after that, I joined in CEDO as a software engineer. So, during my full-time journey, for 1 year, during my starting of my full-time journey, I was in the DevOps team in on Azure cloud, creating CI/CD pipeline and handling different environments, test environments, and dev environments. But later on, I was given production like for 10 to 15 days I was given production, but not for much time. And later, after 1 year, I always wanted to development. I was more interested in development. So after 1 year, I asked to switch in some development team. So they saw my resume and some one round of interview, and I was switched to development team.
Nice.
There, the tech stack was actually in front. There, I worked as a full stack developer. In front end, I worked as a React developer. In React JS, we were using it as a front end technology, and back end, we were using Java as a technology, backend technology.
Got it, understood. So you have almost now 2 years of experience. Right. So
Almost, yes.
almost. So how did you decided now? Yeah, it is the right time because you just recently got an opportunity in your company that you move from DevOps to
Mhm.
development. Now, what
Mhm.
made you think that yes, now it's a good time for me to switch to a different company?
Mhm. So I was trying from earlier, I was trying from as I told you, I was in DevOps team, right? So I was trying from that point only
Okay.
to switch on some other company so that I can get quality of good, development experience. Here also, I learned a lot in development team. It's not like I did not learn anything in Incedo. I learned a lot of stuff in Incedo. But after that, I thought like my learning is kind of stagnant. I have been, working on the same stuff, and most of the part in I was the part of DM team. So in that, what I was more inclined on towards front end side,
Hmm.
not to back end stuff was
Okay.
very little, but I wanted to do much more back end work,
Got
so
it.
I thought of switch.
Got it. So before I jump to your preparation journey, one question coming to my mind, which I would ask, like when anybody, let's say that you started from your college itself, you joined a company which put you into the DevOps. But there are
Hmm.
many like courses like, hey, you want join DevOps. There is a whole lot of growth in there. There are so many things. So
Hmm. Hmm.
like I have met a lot of engineers which join as a DevOps, but now want to come to this backend side.
Hmm.
What's the generally if in 1 year of the DevOps journey, do you know like once you join as a DevOps, what's the further growth from in the DevOps itself? Is there what's the path to grow there? Because in the backend I can tell SD1, SD2, SD3 as a backend,
Hmm.
then you can become a
Hmm.
lead, then architect
Hmm.
likewise. But what about the
Hmm.
DevOps? Like why I'm just asking hypothetically, if you stay in the DevOps itself, what you
Hmm.
like? Why can't you stay in the DevOps itself? Why you have to switch to the backend? You can totally say denied also,
Okay.
but I'm just
So that's personally my experience and my thoughts. It's not generic. So I personally like coding. Like if I had to take back to my college days, I used to do CP and lead code. And I was also always interested in now, like how the softwares are built, how like the big tech giants, Netflix, Uber, how they build big big software that handle millions of people. I was always interested in that field. But since I was given DevOps, I learned a lot in that also.
Mhm.
And coming on to the question, like how would have grown if I would have chosen DevOps only. I think I would have given up too much senior position like senior DevOps engineer, and then after that TL is there, like similar to the backend roles, TL in DevOps, and after that manager. This is what I have seen in my company. So that's what it is,
Got it.
and that. Hmm.
Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so let's move ahead. Like, how's your
Mhm.
preparation goes? Like, how you decide what topics I have to study? Because in after 2023, I think now it's 1 year gap. You might have totally out of
Mhm.
the touch of the preparation. So, how you
Mhm.
started the journey itself of the preparation, and while
Okay, okay.
doing a full-time job, how you were getting the time, how you were getting the motivation. So yeah, the whole your journey, whatever you have or you
Mhm.
have faced the
Okay.
challenge.
Okay, so got the question. Let's start with my journey and let's start from the college itself. So during my college days, I used to only focus on DSA problems like lead code problems, or I used to do CP like code forces and code chef. I was only concerned about this, and yeah, some subjects like OOPS and DBMS, like those core subjects. And not being from CS, so I had to prepare this on my own. So that was a drawback for me, but I think that's not a excuse to learn something. And so I used to learn all those stuff. And after that, I got placed in CEDO. So I got to know that I have been given in DevOps team. So I thought, like, I asked to the HR, like, if can I be shifted to some other, tech stack or something like that. So she denied that no, this can't be done. So I thought, no, no worries, I'll learn DevOps and then I will switch if I get the option. So what I used to do is like if I go through my day, so if I go through my day, like my office timings were 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., right? So I
Okay.
used to wake up at around like say like I was waking up at 6 a.m., 6 to 7 a.m. And if I have some personal activity, like if suppose I got to go to the gym, like 1 hour to the gym, and after that I have some breakfast and all those personal stuff. And like suppose if I start studying at 10 a.m., right? 10 to 1, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., 3 hours I used to study daily, and I used to come home at 10:30 p.m. So 11 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. I used to do like one and a half hour for DSA problems, and in morning I used to do Node.js. And why I chose Node.js personally, because I think Node is easier to learn as compared to Java, because Java is very vast, very, very vast. And I know the basics of JavaScript, so I chose Node.js to learn on my personal end. So I learned Node.js and built some basic projects in Node.js. And after that, I got a shift in my I shifted to development side as discussed.
Mm-hmm.
So as after I they saw my experience, like he has done some development on his own side, and they asked me few like DSA problems, and I was selected in that team. So after that, there was Java being used. So one thing which I encountered between Node.js and uh, Node.js and Java, in Java particularly, the controller, service layer, and repository, this architecture was being followed. So I was not aware like what is this architecture, because in Node on my personal end, I was not following some particular architecture. I was building some basic projects. So first of all, there was my friend Nitin Sharma who has also given the interview on your channel. He was in Amex GPT. He got in.
Mm-hmm.
So from him, I got to know your channel. Like this is the guy, and you can learn Java from him. Like he's a fabulous guy, and thank you so much for that, for providing the great content. Thanks to you. And so that from then onwards, I started learning Java. And in team, I used to first I started from unit test cases. Like I did not know what are unit test cases, how they are wrote. So initially, I was given unit test cases to write. So I started with that, and after I learned Java and different like this architecture, I told how the control, how actually the web works. Because from college, I did not know anything. I did not even knew what is request, what is response, because I only did DSA in college. After here, I was shifted into this my DM team. Here, I worked as a developer, and I got to know like what is request response cycle, how in company the architecture is being followed, controller, service, what is this, what is repository, how different cloud services are being used. So from here, my development journey started. Like I learned development,
Mm-hmm.
and in front end also I used to get a lot of tickets on Jira. Like in React.js, I did a lot of stuff. And coming on to the DSA part, so I already told that DSA I've been doing it from my college days. So I have been practicing DSA from long time. So it was DSA was not a big deal for me, but development and DSA is done. So after that, the point comes system design. So I had no clue about system design till January. I had no clue.
Achha.
Like I know what is system design, but I had never studied. So I followed your playlist, like HLD playlist. I go through that, and I learned like what are the concepts, what are API gateway, and how different DB transaction are done, indexing, etc. All that stuff I learned. And after that, I got interview calls and I given interviews. I think the interviews teach you a lot of things.
Correct.
Like that's the main thing. You can learn a lot of stuff on your end, but if you don't give interviews, I think that's of no use.
Exactly. Let's say for DSA, I'm just trying to clarify, like daily you might be picking one question. How you're picking one question? Like randomly or top 100 or there is some sheet. So what's your source of picking the correct question? Like,
Okay, so particularly for DSA, like there is a myth that if you will do some sheet of 75 to 100 question, that you will clear the company. But I don't think that's the case. Yeah, for the interviews, it's a good resource for like revision.
hmm,
But it's not like you will do 100 question and you will crack the company. It's not like that because DSA is kind of problem solving and your thinking ability which develops over the time. So I think what I used to do is in lead code, there's the option of daily question. Like you can
uh,
maintain the streaks on that, so I used to do daily questions, and if I had to particularly pick up some question, because I particularly find DP and greedy tough, like it's difficult to differentiate what is a greedy problem and DP problem. So I used to focus on that and greedy problems, array, strings, heap, and dynamic programming. These were the topics I used to focus more on.
got it, got it. And you have already explained like HLD, LLD, and this one. So generally, the interviews which you have given, what is the normal number of rounds which you have faced? Three, four, five, depends. And what are
Mhm.
those rounds generally? Like how many DSA, how many system design project and all. So little bit
Mhm.
about that.
So, okay, let me give a rough estimation of the companies that I have given the interview. I think we can expect two technical rounds are everywhere, what I have experienced is. Because first one would be around your, DSA and core subjects.
Correct.
Second round would come, to the core concept, like how much you have worked in Java, Spring
Mhm.
Boot. They will ask you real life problems, and yeah, they can ask you like to design some system or give you some problem like anything and ask you to design something. So that's what I have experienced. But yeah, we can experience 2 to 3 rounds of technical round, and if some company is asking for managerial or director round, then yeah, you can experience 4 rounds. So that's what my experience is.
And how you
Yeah,
were able to bring the companies in? Like
I
many
think that's
engineers
the most difficult part.
many engineers, because that's the real challenge. Many engineers is
Mhm.
also dedicating 5 hours, 6 hours daily while doing a full-time job. But the main
Mhm.
thing stuck is like somebody is getting a lot of job interviews, somebody is not getting it, and they
Mhm.
have a mindset that currently there is recession going on, as lot of companies are, that laid off, and very big tech. So when you see
Mhm.
those news in LinkedIn and other places that yeah, lot of layoffs are happening, so there is a lot of sense happen that yeah, there is that might be the reason I'm not getting the job. So
Mhm.
what's your view on that? How you are applying it? How you are bringing the companies in? What things you have
Mhm.
learned in this whole process which you would like to
Mhm.
share?
Mhm. Okay, so I would like to give my experience. Like, I think what really matters is mindset, right? I used to think like recession is going on from 2023. I was also applying, but I was not applying rigorously,
Hmm.
right? So I thought like a recession is going on and I am not getting the opportunity. This is what I was thinking. But I think, yeah, recession are going on and it's demotivating, to see the people getting laid off. But I think that's not the case. You should more focus on applying and coming on to the applying, yeah, that's the main thing. First of all, according to my experience, directly applying to company's page or portal, I don't think so. You will get call from there. Yeah, some might get calls, but on my experience, I have not got any calls.
Mhm.
So what you can do is you can ask for referral on LinkedIn. I used to daily message 10 to I think 20 people daily to for referrals, at least 20 people. It was more, but yeah, at least 20 people. And if someone has given you referral, and if you could someone ask someone like if you could, share the resume to recruiter, that would be a plus point. Like that's how I got my PayU interview. There was one person who referred me and he saw my profile like yeah, you have did CP and you have did work, so I'll refer to recruiter, and that's how I got the call. And another calls you can get from Naukri. I think Naukri is a great platform to get calls. InstaHire is also there, but what I have found, InstaHire has more of startups
Mhm.
as compared to big MNCs. So you can get calls from there. And one thing which I did was directly contact with the recruiters by cold emailing, in fact. That's the best thing I think you can
Got
do.
it. And the referrals which you are getting, how you know that these companies is hiring, so I should target this company engineers. So
Mm, mm.
from where you are getting the notifications? From LinkedIn filters itself, or you are
Yeah, yeah.
some other strategy?
I think LinkedIn was the main tool because on LinkedIn people used to post like this company has an
Acha,
opening. Then you can go there. And from friends also, I used to got to know that yeah, this company has an opening. Like yeah, so that was the
got
case
it.
with me. And yeah, for I also had a 90 days notice period, so that was a
Acha.
big problem for me.
How you handle that?
So
That's was generally my going to be the next question. Like I was thinking, your notice period might be 90 days, because I have seen in doing my research. So how you handle that?
I think that's a big task. First of all, what I think is if you got a call from a recruiter and he's asking you like what's your notice period, you should never say it's 90 days because they'll directly cut the call. You should either say 60 days or 45 and it's negotiable. You should tell
Mhm.
in this way. The rest of the things are, for the later part, but first thing is you should get the interview. That's the most important thing. So that's the first thing I got. I got the offer from PineLabs. So they asked me to join in 45 days, but my notice period was 90 days. So what I did on my end, I asked in my previous firm, I asked to, release me early, but they were not ready to do so. So what I did was, so, I was very tense, like if I, did not get offer from there. So I think that built a pressure on me. And after that, I applied rigorously. So in 2 months, I applied to, I got an email, around 1,000 emails there were in my inbox. So I applied rigorously, referrals, cold emailing, Naukri. So this was the process. And coming on to my previous firm, I worked there. I, asked my manager to release me few days prior. So yeah, they agreed to me release 15 days prior. So, and here in PineLabs, I asked the recruiter that I would be joining. You have to, give the assurance to the recruiter, to the company that I would be joining. So I given him the assurance that I will be joining here. So he, revised my offer letter, and that's how I handled the notice period.
Yeah, so got pretty much about your preparation, how you got the company's notice period, like anything challenge which you faced and you wanted to share, which I haven't asked, like which you have
Uh,
in your mind, which you wanted to share with all.
Like the main challenges are right. I have discussed with my experience. Like I was not from CS branch and I switched from DevOps to development, and I had 90 days notice period. I think these are the major challenges that people face, and yeah, getting calls from the recruiter. These are the four major challenges I think people face, and I think I have given the answers for that. So these
Got
are
it.
the challenges I think.
Got it. And is it okay if I put your LinkedIn profile into the description section so that if I haven't asked any question which other engineers might be having in their mind,
Hmm.
they can directly reach out to you and get those clarified. So will that be fine?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So
Sure. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, so that's pretty much from my side. Like, and thanks again for coming to this podcast, man. Thank you.